Hey everybody, this is LK. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Today I wanted to discuss Young Thug's perspective on the current state in hip hop. He quoted it as weird, and we definitely have to discuss that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the video in here. I'm going to pause it in between, give my commentary on his commentary, and tie it up with my final thoughts at the end. So if that's something that you are into, please watch, like, comment, and subscribe.
Like rap is in like a weird like space right now. Because it's just saying like everybody beefing, and it's just like some of the biggest, two of the biggest artists in the world, like Clash, and a lot of like the fucking ripple effect that came behind.
You know what? I totally agree with Young Thug here. Rap absolutely is in a weird space right now, and it is stemmed from the beef. However, I have to say that it does not bother me at all. I'm actually pretty happy about it because I do feel like for so long there was so much mediocrity coming through the TikTok, through our old artists, thinking that they can just give us anything with low effort, and we were just going to go ahead and eat it up. And this beef really opened us up because we had two powerhouses in hip hop going back and forth, and it was based on the lyrics. People would listen to songs for 6 minutes straight of people rapping with no chorus. And so there's a shift where it's like, I just saw these two really amazing artists go back and forth and really hold their own in their own way. And now I have to go back to listening to nonsense? No, I don't want to do that. And I think that's a part of the reason why Pooh Shiesty's first day out is doing so well too. I mean, for 6 minutes, he's rapping. There's no hook. There's no chorus. It's just him flexing for 6 minutes straight. And to be honest, it's commendable because this is December right now. And on the Apple Music charts, he's number one ahead of Mariah freaking Carey when this is her month. So yes, hip hop is in a weird space. I'll give him that. However, I think we're changing for the better, and we're kind of taking out the fodder and bringing out the quality in people who love to rap, people who write their raps, and people who have something to say on the track.
Weird. I feel like it's time. I feel like we gotta like take it to the next level. We gotta level up. Like AI, it's just so much. Everything in the world leveling up itself.
You know, when I initially saw this video, it was a hate tweet that was quoting it. And that's why I thought that this video was going to be extremely negative. But it seems as though Young Thug is acknowledging that these artists do have to step their game up. And so I definitely appreciate him saying that, because I feel like it's so easy to say we're in a weird place. You know, people aren't really consuming what we're buying, and putting it all on the consumer or putting it on all of these outside factors instead of the artists have to step their game up. So shout out to Thug for that.
Like niggas getting like worse. Like we getting worse than when we first started. Like I think we like reached something just like comfortability.
Thank you, Young Thug. Thank you for saying that, because there is a huge comfortability with these artists putting out anything just because they know that the consumer is going to buy it. They're going to listen to it. It's going to get radio play. It's going to get streamed on these streaming playlists on Apple Music, on Spotify. And it's like, where is the effort? I may not be the biggest fan of Cardi B, but I absolutely have to give my props for the way that she sold that album. She was on Twitter. She was on Instagram. She was doing interview after interview. She had music videos. She was on the street. She was on the subway saying, "Can you buy my album?" She was on the street with her incense saying, "I need y'all to buy my album." And that type of effort, I'm not saying that she's the first to do it, but she's the first that I've seen do that in a very, very long time. I will say Clips, they did have a excellent rollout, so I want to make sure that I include that caveat. However, I'm mentioning Cardi B because I feel like it was more on a grand, it just reached a lot more people. And so I truly love that Young Thug mentioned that comfortability. People have to stop saying on Monday that they're dropping on Friday. Friday comes, there's no music video. There's only an Instagram post. Sometimes it's even just a story. It's like, do you guys even care about what you're putting out? Are you just putting this music out to just fulfill your contract? Are you putting this out because you worked really hard on it and you really want to sell this quality? Like, the effort is not there because they truly feel as though they can give us anything and that we'll consume it because that's what we've done in the past. But when we have seen Drake and Kendrick Lamar go back and forth, the amount of effort that they put into that beef, we are no longer settling for less. Go out there, sell your album, write your music, put really deep thought into what you're selling us, promote your album, and make your fans feel like the artist that I love is grateful that I listen to their album.
You know, even when we feel like we like hustling hard as we can, we still like we still cap. We so comfortable. I feel like we need this type of shit. I would be so happy if hip hop turned into pop.
Okay. Hip hop turned into pop. I don't know where you're going with this, but let me continue to listen.
Like, nobody on this earth can fuck with me when it comes to that type of shit. You know, I would be happy. But I also love hip hop because I know a lot of hip hop artists can't do that.
Okay, so I'm interpreting this as he knows that there is a shift that's going on in hip hop. Things aren't the way that they used to be, with hip hop being the number one genre. So he's, in my opinion, he's saying that maybe we can go ahead and transition over to a different genre, but he loves hip hop so much that he doesn't want it to die out. So I guess I kind of, get where he's coming from. But to be honest, I truly don't think that hip hop is dying. Like I was saying, I think that people just want more quality. They want people who actually love the sport of rap. They want people to actually put in effort. And I feel that if we get a little bit more of that, then we're going to be in a really, really good spot. Before I mentioned Pooh Shiesty, he's still number one on Apple Music. And he was rapping for 6 minutes straight. And so we have these examples of people still being successful in hip hop, but the ones that are being successful these days are the ones that put in effort. Take a look at 21 Savage, for example. He just released his new album, What Happened to the Streets, and it is on pace to do 53K first week, which is pretty much unheard of for an artist like 21 Savage. But if you really think about it, what effort did he put into promoting this tape besides maybe going to an interview or two? And today he put out a whole bunch of tweets about Gunna, Young Thug making up, Quavo and Offset making up. And it's very convenient timing for him to do that. And it's a little bit disappointing that would be used as promo. However, that's the state that we're in. We get tweets, why didn't we put out a music video? Why aren't we going on a press run? Instead, we can just tweet. We can get attention to the tweet. We can cause a shock value. And hopefully that means that people will go ahead and listen to our songs a little bit more. We're not standing for it. And so hopefully moving forward, these artists will take what Young Thug is saying about putting in that effort and about things changing due to the beef, really looking intrinsically and really putting in a little bit more effort into their craft and promoting and truly being grateful for the fans that have been sticking beside them throughout the way. So if you enjoyed our commentary, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.